Okay, so question 5, we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the one we talked about in class, right? Yeah. So,
Just
sorry.
because I did it different.
Okay.
I did it the wrong way in homework.
Oh,
like I
that's
thought
good.
I got it, but then
All right.
found
Okay.
out during lecture I did it wrong. So.
Okay. So, what's the question? Do you wanna? You can put up your.
Yeah.
You wanna just go over it, or do you wanna? What do you want?
Maybe do it over again.
Oh, okay, okay, all right.
I can put it.
Put the
Okay.
problem up.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Question 5. 3 groups in society. So there's groups X, Y, and Z, right? X has A, B, and C. Y is C, B, and A. Z is B, C, and A. Okay. X has 2 people. Y has 13, 7. Okay. So depending, so that the trick is that, right? This X makes a difference, right? So if X were like some fixed number, like 1 or something, right? It's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only trick is to be able to handle when X is a variable. So to do the Condorcet winner, so you have to first check between A versus B. So between A versus B, how many votes would A get? Okay, so who votes for, if there's a match between A and B, who would vote for A?
New group X.
Only group X, right? So that would be X votes. How many people would vote for B? Yeah, 20, 13%. Okay. Right, makes sense?
Isn't
That's
it
good.
20 plus X though? Because Y likes B and X likes B as well?
Yeah, well, okay. Between A and B, people in X like A better than B, right? So they would vote for A.
Oh, okay, so they would have, okay.
Yeah, whereas people in Y like B better than A, so they would vote for B.
Okay.
How about A versus C? Who would vote for A over C? I think it's the same thing, right? So X people would vote for A because A, and then 20. And then B versus C. How many people are going to vote for B?
X and 7.
X and 7, right? These people, X and 7. And then C is going to be just the 13, right? Okay. So again, the easiest way to do all these is always just put in some sort of number. So if X is like 1 or something, right, then clearly with the Condorcet winner is going to be what? If X is like 1. So if X is 1, then B beats A, right? C beats A, and then C beats B.
So
it'll
yeah.
be C, right? Okay. And then the other extreme is if X is really large, like 100, then A will win, right? The Condorcet winner. Okay. All right. So then it's just a matter of figuring out, those regions. Okay. So so like I do my little graph again. So if X is large, it's going to be, what was it again? A, right? And if X is small, it's going to be C. Hey, do you have a question? Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Sweet your cake there? Oh, no chocolate. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and if X is small, like 1, it's going to be C, right? So this is when I do that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So this is my little number line for X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. We were just talking about the homework if you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm
okay.
here. So
All
go
right.
ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, sure. Just take a look at that. All right, so then it's just a matter of playing around with it. I guess I assumed X odd just to make it easier. Wouldn't have to necessarily, but if you keep that X is odd. So when is A going to stop being the Condorcet winner? So if X is large, A is going to be the Condorcet winner, right? But when does X stop being that? Like, so if X is like 19, yeah. If X are 19, then suddenly B would beat A.
Yeah.
If X are 21, right, so if X is 21, then A beats B, and then A beats C. So does that make sense? Yeah. For any of the Condorcet winner, X has to be 21 or bigger. Right? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's. How about 19? In 19, what happens?
B becomes.
Right. B beats A, and then this 26 is bigger than 13. Yeah? Exactly. So this is now B. Okay, so in the middle ranges of X, maybe B will be the Condorcet winner. Okay, what about if B is like 15, B is 15 still,
Still
you still win. So how
it'd be a
small can
small
be?
7, right?
Right,
Because
exactly.
then
Right.
14 to 13.
Yeah, exactly right. So B can be a 7. So this is like the B region. It's like the A region. Okay, and then what about 5? If X is 5, then what happens? Then this is 12, so C beats B, right? And then C beats A, so then, yeah. Is your question?
When we do Condorcet, we just sort of make the assumption that the worst option just won't get voted for at all.
Well, you don't have to make an assumption, it's just, all the thing in the Condorcet winner is that it's like a pairwise matchup. So you take every pair and then see, who wins in the pair. And like I said, it kind of doesn't really matter where you are. Like for example, if here A beats C, like if X is large, right? But the fact that A is way above C doesn't matter. C could have been here. It's just a purely rank order thing. Okay, oops. My glasses. I got these glasses on the internet.
Oh.
I got them for $39glasses.com. Which is normally pretty good. Anyway, okay. So Condorcet is all about pairwise comparisons. So like A versus C, B versus C, C versus A. Like if you had 7 of them, you'd have to check it all comparisons, right? And for it to be Condorcet winner, it has to beat all the other ones in a pairwise matchup. That's all. So yeah, but for example, let's say that you have a very extreme example, like you see a thing like say you have 3 people, 1, 2, 3, and then you have like something like D or something in the bottom. Obviously, if it's everyone's worst choice, it's not going to be a Condorcet winner, just because it doesn't beat anything. But like say you have something like D's in here, E, F, whatever. You might, even though D might be really low, it still might beat somebody, which might beat somebody else, etc. So you have to check every single pairwise matchup.
Is Condorcet the same exact thing as majority rule, or is majority rule a little bit more simple?
So yeah, so Condorcet is what you would do if you had a majority rule vote between every single pair. So majority rule would only work when you take them pairwise, right? So if one candidate beats all the other ones by majority rule, then we call it Condorcet winner, right? But that's typically rare that happens. Yeah.
But if on the homework or on a test it just says majority rule,
Oh, what does that mean?
yeah.
Oh, we would be more precise. We wouldn't say find out what would happen if the question would not be like, what is the result of majority rule in this situation? It would be more like, well, is there a Condorcet winner if not?
Right.
But the way I motivated class was something like, if you ask people, what is democracy, most people say majority rule. That concept alone is not basically insufficient.
I see.
That's kind of the.
That's
so
when you need to use like Borda or
Yeah.
Condorcet.
Yeah. So in other words, simply saying democracy is majority rule, well, in the Condorcet cycle, Condorcet paradox, there is no majority rule winner per se, right? So, so majority rule doesn't really mean anything necessarily.
So, if in this example, like each group had 1 vote,
Right.
would B be the Condorcet winner
Let's see.
automatically because it's like the second choice, so it's like the median?
Okay, well, let's just check. You just have to check pairwise.
Okay.
You mean, if B is, see, everyone has just 1 vote.
Mm-hmm.
So does B beat A?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. B the name in these 2 cases. Right, and it doesn't matter the fact that B is way above A here, or does it?
Yeah.
So B beats A. Does B beat C?
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah, it does. Right. This person likes B better than C, and this person likes B. Yeah, so B would be the Condorcet winner.
Okay. And then the second problem is that I'm having is like when it comes down to ties, should we just ignore that and like always assume that there is no potentiality of a tie?
We will generally try to make people assume away ties.
Okay.
Always. So, because it's just a pain to deal with them. So, yeah. So I guess I should have brought in the R maybe in the thing that assume that X is R or something like that.
Okay.
But if for example, if X were 20, what would happen? Then there would be a tie here. And strictly speaking, we define Condorcet winner as something which beats everybody else by majority, right? So if X are 20, then A does not beat B by majority, because usually majority you mean 50 plus 1, right? Like majority rule doesn't mean like to get a majority you need more than the other person. So so A would not be the Condorcet winner if X were exactly 20.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think B would be either, because B doesn't, so there would be no Condorcet winner at 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then B. Do you wanna go over?
Yeah, so you said you did it wrong, or you do?
Yeah, I just.
seems like you know what's going on here, right? In terms of
Yeah, I understand it now,
Yeah.
based on what you showed us in the lecture and then
Okay.
going over it.
yeah. Cause it's just a number lining thing, I think. So this is the majority rule. Sorry, this Condorcet winner stuff. Okay, so now let's do the border count stuff. Okay, so now what are the border points going to be? How many border compounds does A get? So A gets, remember it's 2, 1, 0, right? So 2 points from these guys, and then 0 from here, right? So A gets how many border points?
2x.
2x, right? B gets how many?
So x plus 20.
Well, remember
27.
27 because
Oh.
B gets
Oh, yeah,
2
20.
points each from these guys, right?
Mhm.
So it's 14 here, 1 each from these, 13. So it's going to be, and 1 from here. So x plus 13 plus 14 is x plus 27. And C gets how many border points? Well, 0 from here, right? And then from here, how many does C get? 26, right?
14.
Yeah, 26 and 14.
So 4.
No, hold on, 26 and 7, yeah?
Oh, yeah,
26
yeah.
and 7, that's
Yeah,
right,
right.
yeah.
33. Okay. Alright, so now it's just a matter of figuring out which number is bigger as a function of n, or sorry, function of x. Okay, same kind of thing. Okay. If x is really large, again, obviously A is going to be the biggest one. If x is really small, then C is going to be the biggest one. So, at what point does it sort of switch over between A and B? So I'm thinking, what do we need to make sure that this number is the biggest of all of them?
It has to be greater than 27.
Right, exactly. If it's 27, then this number is going to be bigger than this. Is 54 and so 27 is around here. So 27, then I think A and B tie, right? And at 29 is A wins for sure.
And this is just because we qualified the question with A has to be, or the number has to be even or odd
In this case,
because
yeah.
28 would work.
Oh yeah, 28
Okay.
would work too. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna put my X on here. Okay. How about 25? Then it would be B. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then let's go the other direction. If X is really small, then it's clearly C, right? So when would C stop being the winner? Well, when X is 5, it's right. Then C is still the biggest one.
Okay, yeah.
But when X is 7,
Then it becomes larger.
yeah, then becomes B wins the winner. Does that make sense? Yeah. If X is 5, then this number is 32 and C wins. If X is 7, this number is 34. So now we have this some kind of thing. And I think B holds on all the way between 7 and 27, I think, right? If B is
7 and 25.
oh, you're right, 25, yeah, exactly, thanks. Yeah. It's the clear winner. 27 it's a tie, yeah. And at 25 it's gonna be B, yeah. Yeah, when B is 25, this number is 52, and this is 50.
And from 5 to 7, C wins.
Yeah, less than 5 C wins. 5 or less C wins.
5 or less.
Right, yeah.
What about between 5 and 7? What
Like
happens?
6, let's see. Okay, 6, then we might have a tie, which we want to avoid. Oh yeah, I guess we can have that. So, okay, so that we're not assuming X out anymore. If X is going to be 6, then I think there's a tie between B and C. Okay. That's 6. How about it, you want to do some other ones? How about 26? If X is 26, then
wins.
B wins. Yeah, okay. I guess that's what you were saying, right? It's not just 25. So B wins here. And at 27 it is a tie, right?
Yeah.
At 28, that's A wins, right?
So X has to be
If you
between 6 and 28 for B to win.
What do I do? I think the tie is at 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between 6 and 27 for B to win.
Between
yeah,
6 and
exactly.
27.
Yeah.
So what is, like, in the real world, what is the implications? Does this mean that B is, like, for sure gonna win?
No, it's just that, okay, the way I'm thinking about it is this. This is my society. X is kind of like a rapidly growing part of the population or something, okay? So, X is like, people who really, really like A. So obviously, if most of the people are in X, then they're gonna just choose A, flat out, right? That's kind of obvious. Both by Condorcet winner and by board account.
Okay.
Right? If X is small, then the existing majority is Y, right? Because they're bigger than Z. Right? So if X is small, it's basically going to be Y is going to rule the roost, and both Condorcet winner and board account will be C. Okay? So the interesting thing which happens is the intermediate ranges of X. Like so, as X gets bigger, eventually of course they'll get A, but in the meantime, what will win? Okay, so in the meantime, right, as X goes from like some small numbers here, they'll be in this B region. Why was B going to win? Well, B is kind of like, essentially X kind of, B is kind of like the compromise candidate in some sense, right? So if X is sort of in the middle regions, then B will be chosen, okay? And you can see this is the Condorcet winner too, okay? But the board account favors middle kind of compromise candidates a little bit more, okay? So the B region is larger for the board account than for the Condorcet winner. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
So, yeah, so like, yeah.
So like in the election, like Obama's camp assumed X, like say they were like the Latinos or the minorities, like Obama assumed that they were very large, or like larger, so they were able to be like a B almost because they were more moderate, whereas like
oh, that's interesting.
Like Romney assumed that they were
Yeah,
really
you could do
small.
some sort of, exactly right. Yeah. I mean, in theory, you could actually do exactly, makes you actually consider like, these are like, Latinos, these are like Republican women, whatever. You can actually give them names and then do some sort of simulation and kind of see how this whole thing works. Yeah. And, and our system is not Condorcet winner or board account, right? Ours is this complicated electoral college system. So, but you could do that. I mean, and I'm sure, there are models of that kind of stuff of how, each state by state and demographics in each state, you can kind of see, assuming, people, you'd have to make some sort of assumption about people's preferences. Like a lot of times, people will talk about like, well, the other thing which is going to change is because of, as these groups change, then the candidates themselves will change, right? So, if you're Romney or you're B, you might want to change so that your B now becomes a little higher than some people, that kind of thing. Yeah, but you could work that all out. In theory, you could sort of play around with that kind of model and see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then coming to C.
Okay, C part is just comparing the two, right? Yeah. So, if I go back to my odd thing, X odd, then the only time they're different is, so when X is 5 or less, both pick C, both Condorcet winner and Borda. And then when X is really large, they both pick A. And the only difference is going to be in this, I guess, 21 to 20. What is it?
21, 27?
Yeah, 21. This range here, kind of, right? This is the only difference. So in the 21 to 27 range, they would pick A, and then the Condorcet winner or Borda would pick B. That's all.
What does approval go into?
Oh, we didn't do approval.
We're still part B.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
we're still
I'm
on
sorry.
part B.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
it's-
sorry.
Finish it.
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's what you asked. Okay, part C. All right. Oh, that's what you were saying. Okay.
Oh no.
All right. Approval. Now let's do the same thing now. A, B, and C. Am I still in my camera? Oh, okay. Okay. Approval voting. Oh, I didn't do that in class. Okay, so how many does A get through approval voting? Now this is basically 1-1-0, right? Everyone goes to the top two. Okay. A gets how many votes?
X.
X, right? Yeah. Okay.
Or 2 times? Oh no, just
Yeah.
X.
Yeah. Exactly. B gets how many votes?
X plus 1 plus 1.
Oh, we're doing back to the
Plus
13 and 7 thing here.
What's that?
We're going back to the 13 and 7 thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, X was 20, I think, right? Yeah. And then C gets how many? 20. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. So which is the biggest number of all these things?
B.
B, right? This is not going to depend on X at all, right? So under approval, B will always be the
Okay.
Yeah.
That's even, I guess it's even more strongly shown in that compromise candidates, are chosen by approval systems.
So it says for values of X, does this outcome differ?
Oh, well, they can
How do
differ
you, because it would just.
from the Condorcet winner.
Mhm.
You just go back now and look at this thing, right? So the difference would be if X are 5 or less, right? Because they would be chosen C,
Mhm.
and then if we're 21 or more, so the difference would be if X are 5 or less, or 21 or more.
Okay.
Assuming that X is off.
For what?
Oh, so we're asking, question is, how does the approval differ from Condorcet winner? That's all. So since the approval voting is B all the time, the only time it's different is when
X is less
less than 5,
five.
less than
Okay.
equal to 5 or bigger than or equal to 21. Yeah, I'm gonna write down X odd. Assume X is odd. For next year.
Okay. Did you have any other questions?
Not on that. But
Do you mind
yeah,
if
go ahead, of course.
Oh yeah, can we go over 3A, please?
Oh, okay. Okay, say candidate A receives more or less vote equivalent than the other two candidates. Is it possible for A to not be a Condorcet winner? What do you think? So is it possible for an approval voting winner to be not a Condorcet winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that?
If, like with this situation above,
Mm-hmm.
where, like it just has such a large amount of
Mhm.
approvals, like if they're more moderate.
All right, exactly. Okay, let's do that. So like something like the one we just did, me.
Mm-hmm.
So B will be the approval winner,
Mm-hmm.
but if everyone does one, right? There's one person in each of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But is B going to be the Condorcet winner?
No.
See, no. Who is a Condorcet winner here? Actually, I think B is a Condorcet winner here.
Oh yeah.
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 Hey, do you have a question?
Yes, Professor. I have a question. I'm in your power sector
Yeah,
class
sure.
in Ishkala,
Yeah.
and I think I left my iPhone in
Okay,
there.
I have
If
it.
I pick it up.
Where is it? I have it in my pocket. I was hoping I could walk away with it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, Thank you very much, Professor.
No problem, sir.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Have a good one.
See. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So here B is going to be the approval voting winner and the Condorcet winner. Right? So we need to find a situation where B is approval voting winner but not the Condorcet winner. How would I change it?
So just like put B down on the bottom.
Well, okay, you're right. But if we put B down here, like,
Then it wouldn't.
then it wouldn't be the
If you
win.
put on the
Huh?
third column, if you put C above B,
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
B would still win approval, but
Right.
C would win
Exactly.
consensus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. B gets 3 approval votes, but C is a Condorcet winner. So. Cool.
Okay. So I understand that now. And then my last question
Mhm.
is like with this, the agenda,
Mm-hmm.
is that different than the end, like with 7, how it was like a sequential?
Mm-hmm.
Are they written in different ways or do they just turn
Sure.
out like this? So, oh wait, which was it? Oh, sequentially. Okay, so for 6,
Mhm.
consider voting agendas in which people vote on candidates
Oh,
sequentially.
it's the same thing. Yeah.
It's just the same
Right,
thing?
right, right.
Okay, alright, cool.
Right, yeah.
So it's just like the A,
Right, double triple.
not A. Okay.
Right.
I think that's it for me. Thanks.
Good.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too, bye.
I guess if you lose your phone, then there's no way for you to check whether you how do you lost your phone still, right? I guess you can check your email, right? If I send out an email.
Yeah.
If you have Find Your iPhone app on your
Oh,
iPhone,
okay.
you can find your
Really?
I see.
yeah through iTunes. Yeah.
Okay.
Through iTunes.
Yeah.
I should probably get that.
It's pretty solid. Yeah, I
Yeah,
lost my iPhone once, and when I lost it, I started looking up, and I found the app, and I was like, I should have this now. I got my iPhone back though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Kid.
Oof. Cool.
But you have to have it installed before you lose it, right? You can't do it ex post. I've heard you can do it ex post, even by going to the Apple store or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There might be a way to do it.
Yeah.
For 7, could you just make like one extensive form view, knowing that, because I already know that A is in the top cycle.
Right.
It's A, F, and G.
Okay.
But like, just to make sure like I'm doing it right. Like,
Oh, okay, sure.
because like,
Yeah, let's see, 7.
because A, F, and G are in the top cycle.
Right.
Yeah, while we do this, I just kind of had a quick
Uh-huh.
question about the top cycle thing.
Right.
I found that A, F, and G were the top cycle too, but it took me a while to like understand kind of what that question meant. I don't
Yeah,
know
okay.
why like the term top cycle, like I don't remember from lecture or whatever.
Oh, sure. What is it? Okay, so the definition of the top cycle is something's in the top cycle if it can beat something, which beats something, which beats something, et cetera, including everybody. So, again, the way to think about it is like football or whatever. If one person can beat everybody else, then clearly that person's on top, right? That's like the Condorcet winner. But rarely that's the case. Usually, everyone can be beaten by somebody. However, some people might beat somebody, and that person doesn't beat anyone, right? So that clearly that's not going to be in the top cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be in the top cycle, you have to beat other people, plus those people have to beat other people all the way down. So there's, if you can beat a person who beats a person instead of all the way down, then you've got to be in the top bit.
Okay.
That's what I'm kind of, that's the top little group.
So I don't have my homework with me, but you know, I just like, you know, iterated like every
Right.
one-on-one
Yeah, exactly. Right.
pairwise
That's
thing,
right.
and realized that AFG had the same amount of victories
Oh,
over
right,
other
right.
players, and was like, okay, they're the top cycle,
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
could, yeah, right. You could do it that way. I mean, sometimes it doesn't always work, and that sometimes you might have a case where A beats more candidates than C, but the candidates A beats are very weak ones. See, then A might not be in the top cycle. Again, it's a little just like football or something. I might have a better winning record than their team, but if all the weak people I beat are not good. Yeah. So, so you kind of want to think about it. Yeah. So again, it's the top cycle. Or think about it this way: I might just beat one other person, but if that person can beat everybody else, right, then I'm going to be the top cycle. See? So, anyway, so yeah.
Okay.
But often you can just look at it and kind of see.
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, so I think so we have person 1's F, C, G, E, B, H. Okay, 2 is going to be, alright, do you have questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sit down.
Sure. Okay. Okay, so we found basically F, A, and G are the top cycle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I get, for example, F to be the winner? Right? And then we could do this thing. We actually should do the entire, like, A beats,
Well,
this whole thing.
A has to be defeated somehow, because
Right.
A is the only one that dominates F.
Yeah, okay, so F, we want F to win, right? So we're gonna have F,
To get rid of A.
we have to get rid of A. Okay, so, who's gonna beat A?
Shoot, which was
I guess do you wanna go through all the
Was it
pairs?
G
I
beats
think
A.
it's G, right?
I think it's G.
Right. Because it makes sense, right? If A beats F, then if these are the top cycle, then G has to beat A. Okay, so I want G to beat A. So, and F beats G, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So if I do this, right? So if G is chosen here, then F will beat it, right? And if A is chosen here, G will beat it. Right? Okay, so then we have to think about the other ones. But I think A is in a good enough position that, right? I think that all the
A
other
beats
ones.
everything else.
A beats everything else. Yeah. Okay, so it actually doesn't even matter what goes on over here.
Is it possible to go backwards, or is that?
Oh, you could do it that way. I mean, going back from here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I did it.
Oh yeah, you could do
Okay.
that too. Yeah.
I
Because I did that because
Mhm.
I thought I remember that from lecture, but then I wasn't sure or confident at the same time. But like
Okay.
I felt like I was doing it right, but
Right.
I felt I don't know.
Okay.
Because usually
Right.
extensive goes obviously from the beginning, but
Right.
then,
Well, I mean, the key thing is just finding that sequence. So,
so like if we did it from
Mhm.
backwards, how would that work?
okay, you'd
Or do you
want.
prefer us going?
It doesn't matter. I mean, anything will be okay. Okay, so
So my strongest to weakest.
yeah, so you're thinking you put these here, like. I'm trying to think. You would put G and A down here, you think? Or
Like if I want, it depends who I wanted. Like,
Uh-huh.
who do we want to win in this one?
you
F.
want? Right.
So yeah, I would say like F wins,
Mhm.
and then who's like the very strongest person who F can beat, which
Mhm.
is G, right?
Right. Do you have questions, Art?
Quick question to ask you.
Uh-huh.
My alarm one didn't go off this morning,
Uh-huh.
and I want to turn in my homework.
Oh, okay. You can just give it to me.
All right, great, thank you.
Sure.
That's good, man.
What's up, dude?
Thanks a lot, I
Sure,
really
no problem.
appreciate it.
Okay.
I try not to I try not to let that happen, but
Uh-huh.
every now and then it happens.
Okay.
Have a nice
Sure.
day.
See you later.
So
Okay.
yeah, we want F to win, right?
Mhm.
And then G
Mhm.
beats A, and G's the only person who beats A, right?
Right.
So then I would say F beat G,
Mhm.
which F does.
Right.
And then I'd say, and then A beat
Mhm.
G, or yeah, that's right.
No,
Or
G beats A. Yeah.
G beats A, right? So then
Right.
G beat A,
Right.
and then A beats everything else.
Right,
So
right.
then you can just
Right. Exactly.
finish it off with all the weak ones.
Exactly. In some sense, actually, it doesn't even matter as long as you allow G to beat A. It doesn't really matter where all the other ones. You could place them anywhere in here.
I have a quick question
Mhm.
about doing
Mhm.
the extensive form game though for this situation.
Right.
So I noticed in the notes a lot of times you oriented it in such that it was like F not F, and if it's F then F wins,
Mhm.
and if it's not F
Right.
then we go to the next person. And I was doing that, and then I realized I was like, well, that's not really how like elections work. It's
Mhm.
not like we all vote for Bush, and if Bush
Mhm.
doesn't win, then we all vote for Gore, and if Gore doesn't win, then we all
Right,
vote.
right.
But you could imagine how you'd have tiered things where it's
Right.
like Bush and Gore.
Right.
And if Gore wins, then we're gonna go with Gore. But if
Right.
Bush wins, then we have to move over to
Right.
Barack Obama. And if he wins, and he goes up against McCain, like that's still
Right.
kind of crazy. But
Right.
it makes more sense to me than like the binary situation.
Oh well,
right?
I mean, okay, so I mean, the popular elections are usually set up so that there aren't like 7 alternatives. You know,
Right,
if there
right.
are 7 alternatives, you would do something like a border count system or something
Mhm.
like that, right? But what I'm thinking about is something like in Congress, or where there is an agenda and someone could manipulate it. In other words, there's somebody who just makes a decision about what order we're going to take these votes in. You know, sometimes it comes up like we'll either vote for the bill or not,
Mm-hmm.
and then either the bill passes, then we'll vote to amend.
Right, right.
We could do that way, or we could vote for the amendment first. So we're saying, okay, we're not sure the bill wins or not, but first we'll vote on the amendment. If the amendment passes, then we'll vote on the amended bill versus nothing. If the amendment doesn't pass, we'll vote on the original bill versus nothing. So those are different agendas.
Right, right.
So that's
Committees
kind
and
of
stuff.
that's kind of closer to this thing. Yeah.
Okay, so specific to this class,
Mhm.
when we do an extensive form game in this scenario,
Mm.
is orienting it in such a way that it's F or not F, and then we move on to the next thing, just as valid as doing it so that F or B, and if B wins, then B goes up against the next
Yeah,
person,
right.
and each person progresses. Because that's the way I did it on the homework, where I had
Oh,
each
okay.
individual progress to the next round,
Uh-huh.
and then either win or get eliminated, and then whoever won that one progresses to the next round.
Oh, I
It's-
see. Right.
It's
You would-
still weird and lopsided because if one person wins, they take the whole thing. If the other person wins, they have to move on to the next round, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But
yeah, I mean, like there are lots of ones. For example, when we did in class something like first you do A versus B, and then the winner of that versus C, something like that.
right.
You could do, and then the winner of that versus B or D or something like that. You could do.
Right.
There's a lot of things you could do. I mean, the nice thing about this is that you're right. It does have this kind of unrealistic quality, but it's a little simpler, and also it is an agenda. You could imagine people doing
Sure,
it,
yeah.
and it is fair in the sense everyone thinks voted on. And the nice thing about it is that it translates very quickly from that sequence thing, right? So remember, if you have F beats G versus A, and then whatever B, C, and D, whatever, then I just plop those down into here, and you can see right away why it would work. Right? That's the nice thing. So it goes from here to here easily.
Okay.
That's all. Mm. So,
I wonder if I had another question. That's pretty much it.
If we did it backwards though, we still wanted F to win. Would F end up being here, or would F be closer to that?
Oh yeah, you're right. You could have it. Say that F beats a lot of other ones. You could have a situation where F is down here, and like if and the very weak candidates come here or whatever, right? Then F would still win over these, right? So yeah, I think actually almost anything would work as long as you allow G to be A.
But
right?
But so
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you go backwards, then F it would still normally be here though. But in this situation, since it dominates pretty much everything, it can almost be kind of on any part of the
Exactly.
sensor form game.
Yeah. As long as the only thing which beats F was A, right? So we said. Yeah. So as long as you don't have a situation where A is before F, then you're okay.
Okay.
Right, because F will come down from this way and then A would beat it. Right, so you need A to be over here. You need A to be after F. And then I think you also need G to be before A to get rid of F. So you need G to be A and then F need to be G. Yeah. So I think as long as you have this kind of order in there, it doesn't matter what the other ones are, I think because these end up beating all the other ones, I guess. Yeah. So.
Okay. Thank you.
No. I'm sorry, I forgot your name again. Peter, that's right. What's your name again?
Andrew.
Andrew, that's right. What's your last name?
Dyshark?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Miller.
Miller.
Do you study Newcomb's paradox in game theory?
I've heard of it. I don't actually know what it is. It's like a logical thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was curious. I'm taking a philosophy class right now called Rationality in Action. I think
Oh, cool,
I
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about it for a second.
Yeah.
We're doing some game theory stuff. We're also doing Newcomb's paradox
Oh, cool.
and Bayes' theorem and everything.
No.
Do you do Bayes' theorem?
Yeah, we do Bayes' theorem. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just curious. Thanks for your time.
Oh no, sure. So you're from Orange County too?
Not from LA County.
Oh,
I
that's
just
right.
went to my aunt and uncle's house on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's nice.
And my house is just over in Glendora.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you said your mother teaches there. I remember.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
teaches in Arcadia.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thanks for your time. See you
Yeah.
Thursday.
See you.
Bye.
What's your name again? I forgot.
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
sorry.
Okay.
For like all of them, are we supposed to like have this in them?
Yeah, right. For
So
the
like,
agenda.
for all of these? No,
Uh-huh.
'cause I didn't do that.
Uh-huh.
I just did, boxes.
Okay, when you worked on an agenda, how did you?
I don't think I even wrote it down.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. So given the world is leaving, so like if what was the question? Is you're just trying to find an agenda,
Yeah.
right? Which number one, which the candidate wins.
Did you like that?
Yeah, exactly right. So here, let's just do this. How would this work? In A, so let's see. Oh yeah, so okay, so there's 5 candidates. Yeah, okay, so here, the first thing to do is do that thing where the A beats what? So let's see. Okay, so if the whoops. Oh, thanks. Okay. Okay. So in this case, what does A beat here by majority? Between A and B, who wins?
A.
Right, because 2 and 3 like A better than B. Between A and C,
C.
yes, because 1 and 2, yeah. Okay, so what happens here? A and D. A and D.
A.
Between A and D. 3 likes A better than D, but 1 and 2 like D better than
Oh.
A. Right, so I think D would beat A. How about E and A?
E.
Yeah. Okay, so how about B and C?
C.
C, yes, exactly. B and D.
E.
Yeah, exactly. 1 likes B better than D, and so does 3. Yeah. And B and E.
E.
Yeah. Oh, so then. I think one likes B better than E, and so does 2.
Oh.
Right. So B likes. Yeah. B. Okay, but how about between C and D?
C.
Hold on. Persons 2 and 3 like D better than C. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so. Okay, and how about between C and E?
C.
Yes, right. 1 and 2, let's see now. Okay, finally between D and E. Yeah, pretty good. Because 1 and 3 like E gonna do. Perfect. So this is our things. These are things. So now we have to figure out how to do the agenda. So it says that we should be able to make anybody win. So let's say, how do I make A win? So I'm going to make A win. Okay, so A, to make A win, I need A to go up against what?
B.
Right, because A, yeah, B is the only thing A beats. So for B to win versus the other ones, B will have to go up against D, yeah, or E. So for D to happen, D will go up against,
A or C.
yeah, the A is up here, right? So that's C. And C, I think, beats E, yes?
Yeah.
Makes sense. So this is the definition of top cycle, because we can make one of these sequences, which A beats B, B beats D, D beats C, C beats E. And now this is everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to make this an agenda, what I do is I write down like this. Okay, so between C and E, who wins? In here.
C.
Right. So I'm gonna do this. They're choosing between D and not D, which is essentially between D and C, right? So so D wins, right? Between B, now what do they choose here? Do they go up or down?
Down.
Yeah, down. They go choose B over D, right? And finally, choosing E. Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so first thing you construct this sequence, and then you can just throw it in one of these little agendas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah.
I have to go do that now.
Okay. All right.
Turn this in.
Okay.
Do I have to do it for all of them?
Yeah, so this one would be, so for each candidate, so you should be able to do the same thing for all of them. So in this particular case, you could do it for all of them, but in other words, all the 5 are going to be in a top cycle, but then need not be always the case. Like sometimes, yeah, for example, in this one, there's no order of in which D wins, because I think in this particular case, D doesn't beat anything, so you can't get D to win.
Okay. Go do that.
Alright, good. What year are you in?
Sophomore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you told me before.
Yeah.